Alright, let's set up the workspace for Forge modding in 1.19.3. Indeed, we're back, and in this case, this is a 1.19.3 series. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter series compared to the other ones, as basically I only want to cover some of the changes from 1.19.2 to 1.19.3. But regardless, if this is your first time here, we have a few things to download, a few things to set up, and then we can proceed. Now, the first thing you're going to need is a JDK or Java Development Kit. This is the one that I suggest here, the Tamarin one by Adoptium. All of the links are going to be in the description below, and just make sure that you're on JDK 17 right here, and then you can download it for whatever your operating system might be. For me, it is Windows, so I'm just going to download the MSI, and then you can, once it's downloaded, install this like any other program onto your PC. There's one more thing that's very important. So let's actually take a look at what happens when we try to install this. So what's very important is that on next right here, when you have the custom setup, what I highly recommend, if this is your first time installing Java, making sure that the Java home variable here is set. So just make sure that this is set to will be installed on local hard drive. This is just going to make this a little bit easier for when you actually are programming in Minecraft and Java to actually find your Java installation folder. That's basically the general idea. So just keep that in mind, hit next, install, and then just install it like any other program. All right, once you have done this, and this is actually your first time, what I do highly recommend is actually checking out a little bit of Java beforehand. So if you've not programmed in Java or programmed at all before, I highly recommend checking out my Java introduction for Minecraft modding. It's been a while, so it's been about a year ago, but it's still a very good resource for you. You can, of course, also check out other resources, but I'm going to link this particular playlist in the description below. I highly recommend going through a few things here because a good Java foundation is extremely necessary for you to properly program and mod Minecraft. There is no way that you're going to mod Minecraft without some foundation in Java. So what I basically tell you is that it would be best case scenario, go through the Java introduction first and then come back to all of the Minecraft modding stuff. Otherwise, you can also go through a few steps in the Java introduction, try to go into modding a little bit, and then sort of fuel the modding, the want for modding, right? Have that fuel you to learn Java. It is extremely important. I cannot stress this enough. And you will need this. You will not be able to do this properly without learning Java first. Regardless, though, the next step is going to be a IDE, and that is an integrated development environment. It is basically a fancy text editor for actually programming in Java. We're going to be using IntelliJ IDEA, the community version, which is free. So you're going to download the right version right here, the community version, which is free. If you want to use something else like Eclipse or VS Code or something like that, that is absolutely, you're free to use that. If you're a beginner, I highly recommend doing the same thing that I'm doing, basically downloading the IntelliJ IDEA here, because otherwise there will be discrepancies and you will have to figure them out on your own. Like I can't help with Eclipse or VS Code because I've not done Minecraft modding in them. I basically always use IntelliJ IDEA. Right, so let's download this as well. And once again, we can just download this and install this onto your PC like any other program. Once you've installed this, it might actually open up already. Now we're actually not going to concern ourselves with this just yet. We need one more thing, and that is, of course, we need to download Minecraft Forge. Now in this case, we want to download Minecraft Forge 1.19.3, as this is a 1.19.3 series. So you're just going to make sure that you're on 1.19.3. We're going to choose the latest download, the MDK right here. Just click on this. It's going to take a moment, and then after 5 seconds at the top right corner, you're going to be able to download this. There you go. Just click the skip button, and then a zip file will appear. Now I already have this prepared, as you can see. So in my tutorials folder, I already have this zip file right here. We're just going to extract this to a new folder, and then you can see a new folder appears, and all of this craziness is in here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the zip file, and then I'm going to rename this to Forge-tutorial-1.19.3. There you go. Perfect. And then we can go in here. Now what we can actually do is we can delete 4 files: the changelog text, credits, the license, and the README file. Those are Forge specific files. So let's delete this, and then we can proceed. So we definitely want to save this path over here. So just select it, press Ctrl-C to copy it, and then we can proceed with IntelliJ here. So this is going to be roughly what the first time looks like for IntelliJ. Now, you're probably not going to have a bunch of projects, but what you will have is these 3 buttons: the new project button, the open button, and the get from VCS button. You're going to be pressing the open button and then putting in the path that we've just copied. So make sure to choose this folder, not the source folder, not the build.gradle file, but the folder that all of this contains, where all of this is contained in. Press OK, trust project, and then a big window here will open from IntelliJ, it's going to start doing stuff. You can see it's starting to build models. It's going to add folders over here. Just be patient. Let this run through. It might take a couple of seconds, might take a minute or so. Just, everything is fine. All of the warnings, don't even worry about it. You can see it's downloading stuff. Just be patient. Wait until this is done, and then we can proceed. Or you can see build successful in 21 seconds. Like I said, it might take a little bit longer for you. Just be patient. I've seen this take, for some people, up to 20 minutes or so, depending on how fast your internet speed is, how fast your computer might be. All of this are factors in how long this might take. And you might also have not gotten a build successful. There's a few things that we can do immediately. So what you should do is you should definitely go to File, Project Structure, and absolutely make sure that both SDK is set to 17 as well as the level language is set to SDK default. This is extremely important. Make sure that this is the case. Apply. And if you have not gotten a build successful before, you can go to this Gradle tab right here and actually press the Reload All Gradle projects again, and then hopefully you will get a build successful. Well, we can now minimize this and we can continue along with the project structure. So if we actually look into Java, this is roughly what you should see: com, example, example mod, and then an example mod class right here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to this gear over here and change the tree appearance, because this is not actually how I want this to set up. I want to disable hide empty middle packages, and I also want to disable flatten packages. So I want this to look like this, com example example mod, because this is just how I'm used to programming, and this is going to then give you the same structure. Right, let's double click on the example mod class right here, and you can see there's a bunch of stuff in here, and some of this we can delete, some of this we have to change, and some of this we can just keep it as is. So the first thing to note is the mod ID. So personally, I have an underscore between mod and ID. So what you could do is you click on ID, press Shift F6, and then you can just add a underscore right here, and that's going to change it everywhere where it needs to be changed. And then also this, right now this is example mod. However, I want this to be called tutorial mod. Now, our mod ID is extremely important. The mod ID is basically a unique identifier for your mod, and it is extremely important that it can only contain lowercase characters, numbers. It can contain a underscore and a dash, and that's it. It cannot contain spaces, and it cannot contain uppercase characters. Make sure that this is the case, and make sure that this is done correctly. And then I'm just going to change a few things here in terms of the setup of this. This isn't absolutely necessary. It's just the way that I basically usually have everything set up, but just a little bit nicer. Now what we can actually do is we can delete the example block, the blocks, the items. We can delete that. We're then going to get a few errors right here. We can delete those as well. We can delete some of the comments as well. We don't necessarily need those. We can delete the contents of the add creative method. We can delete the contents of the comment setup as well. And we can delete the entire on server starting event right here. And we can also delete the contents of the on client setup. So this is how our example mod class looks like right now. And what we can then do is we can rename this. So this is very important. You want to click on the name of the class, press Shift F6, and then rename it tutorial mod. And you can see that it also changes the name right here. So what's important about this is that this is the name of the file, while this is the name of the class. And they usually have to be the same. Very important indeed. Then we can change the package. Now I personally am going to do net Kaupenjoe.tutorial mod. What you want to do is do, for example, net. Maybe your name is John, so you want to do net John tutorial mod, or net, and then if you have an online alias or an online name, you want to do net online name tutorial mod. That's the general idea. You can see though there's a red underline here. This means that there's an error there. We can hover over this, go to more actions, and then say move to package net Kaupenjoe tutorial mod. We're going to do this, and on the left you can see it has now moved this class and this file actually to a different package structure. So we can then delete the rest of the package structure, and we now have the package structure net, hopefully your name, tutorial mod. This is pretty much all that we need to do in this class, and now there's a bunch more stuff that we have to do, very important. So the first thing is in the meta.in folder, there's a mods.toml file. This is extremely important that we get this right, so let's open it, and you can see there's a bunch of stuff. First of all, there's a ton of comments here. Highly recommended to read them to know exactly what everything is, but the main things are that we want to change the license here. So I usually have my mods, and I usually have the tutorials all under the MIT license. I highly recommend choosealicense.com over here to know what this means. And then the mod ID, of course, we've talked about this. This is tutorial mod. Very important that this is correct. Otherwise, it will not work. Like your mod will actually not be able to store if this is not the exact same thing that is right here. Very, very important. Then the name, I'm just going to choose tutorial mod as the name right here. The logo file, we're going to just sort of ignore. That's fine. And then the author is, of course, me. That's Kaupenjoe. There you go. You can add a description right here. We're just not going to add a description for the time being. And then also very important that you have example mod here twice. Make sure to change this to tutorial mod as well. And that should be fine. This should be pretty much everything that is definitely necessary here for you to change. There are, of course, other things that you can also do. You can add a issue tracker, update JSON URL. So there's a bunch of things that you can do. For the time being, we're just going to be happy with this. Next point of order is opening the build.gradle file. And you can see we have a version, a group, and an archives base name. So first of all, the version, we want to change this. So let's say this is version 0.1-1.19.3. What I usually advocate is that you add the current Minecraft version, your version code basically. This is highly recommended just to make it a little bit easier for the user to understand, okay, for what version of Minecraft is this mod actually done? And I highly recommend doing this. This can only help you. Then the group name in this case is net.Kaupenjoe or your name.tutorialmod, right? So you can see this is just the exact package structure right here. And then mod ID, once again, is just tutorial mod. Beautiful. That's actually amazing. Now we're going to actually copy this. So I'm going to click on this twice, press Ctrl+C. I'm going to go down a little bit and we're going to find example mod. We want to select this, press Ctrl+R, and then actually replace everywhere where it says example mod with tutorial mod. We're just going to say replace all, and then it's going to replace everything that says example mod with tutorial mod. This is also very important because otherwise, it's not going to actually understand that everything is our mod in this case. But now everything here has been set up. Now, overall, the build.gradle file, you can see it seems very complicated, and it is very complicated. The highest overview is basically this just defines a lot of things that are downloaded automatically, that are set up automatically, and that it sort of knows where certain things are. This is the highest level overview I recommend for the time being, especially as a beginner. Just keep it like this, right? Just change the thing that we've changed over here, and then it's going to be fine. Now, you will find a little elephant with a reload button here in the top right corner. If this does not appear, you can always open the Gradle tab and just press the reload button. That will do this exact same thing. And you can see in the build window down here, it's going to start doing things again. Now, this once again might take a couple seconds, maybe a minute. It can vary wildly. But after this is run through, we pretty much, there you go, build successful in 12 seconds. We now have everything set up that we need to set up. Right, so we can close everything, and now we can actually already start Minecraft for the first time. Now, how do we do this? Well, once again, we want to open the Gradle window right here. We want to expand the tasks, Forge Gradle runs, and then we want to double-click the Run Client task over here. We can now close this, and now Minecraft is going to start for the first time. Once again, these warnings can all be ignored. That's not too important in this case. This just has to do with the mappings over here. This is just a normal part because we're using the actual Minecraft mappings that are provided by Mojang. So that is totally fine, and that should be okay. Just want to note this and say this is all fine. We're just going to wait a moment. You can see like it's going through, a lot of stuff is happening over here. A bunch of things in the background are spinning up, and actually Minecraft is already starting over here, which is exactly what we want to see. And we can even already hear the music. Let's just turn this down for a moment. There you go. And you can see it has started already. Right, and now we can see under mods, actually, we can see tutorial mod right here. We can see tutorial mod, right, the Kaupenjoe, MIT license, and everything is in here. Absolutely amazing. Right, so this is pretty much all that we really need over here. Let's stop this, and then everything is pretty much set up. I will also show you how to add your project to a GitHub repository. This can be extremely useful if you want to share the code with people, or if you just want a version control system. So basically, you're going to change a bunch of stuff. You can upload it to GitHub, and then maybe, it's going to break like everything, and you're like, oh no, and then you can just revert to a previous version. Highly recommended to set this up, so I highly recommend to stay around to see how this works. Now, the way to do this, you of course need a GitHub account right here. I highly recommend, I'm just going to link this as well. It's a very reputable site. Just make an account, and then we can proceed inside of IntelliJ. So in IntelliJ, what we want to do is we want to click the VCS over here, and we want to say share project on GitHub. You can see it basically takes the name that we have for the project already. Now, if you make this private, then you can't share it with other people. Now, I'm just going to make this private for myself. Usually, you want to keep this public, but whatever you basically choose, right? If you then, of course, want to share it with other people later, you then, of course, have to unprivate it, but that's also okay. What you're probably going to have is you're not going to have any share by, so you need to click Add Account, log in via GitHub, and if you are logged in on GitHub on your browser, then you can just click Authorize in GitHub, and you should get a successfully authorized, and then you can see github.com/Kaupenjoe. Absolutely amazing. So we're just going to hit share, and then it's going to do a bunch of stuff. It's going to open another window, add files for initial commit. This is absolutely all right. So we're going to hit add, and then at the bottom right corner, we're going to see pushing to GitHub and then successfully shared on GitHub. So we're going to just click this, and you can see, there we go, Forge tutorial 119.3. It was, committed just now, and it was the initial commit. Everything is here. This is exactly what we need, right? We don't actually need everything, so we don't need the .gradle, the .ide, the build folder. All of those are not needed. These are all that we need. This is all done in the git ignore file right here, so that's why this is one of the important ones. Now, if we were to change something, right? So let's say, for example, well, you know what? Let's just get both of those comments out of here, and let's add a new comment, right? This is a very important comment, right? You can actually see that the tutorial mod class now turns blue. This is because a change has been detected in this class. Now, how can we actually, note this change and then upload this change to GitHub? Well, we want to go to the commit window over here, make sure that all of the changes are checked, and then, for example, added some important comment. So here we just want to add what we have done, right? We're going to commit this, and after this has been committed, if you look back at the project, you can see it's no longer blue. However, this has not yet been uploaded to GitHub. This has now only been done on your local machine, right, on your PC. This has been committed, and it said, okay, make sort of a snapshot of whatever we've done right now, and this is now saved on your PC. To actually upload it to GitHub, you want to click on this arrow right here at the top right corner that says push, and we actually want to push this to GitHub. So we're going to push those commits to GitHub. We're going to say push, and then after it's done, we can see pushed one commit to origin master. So if we now go back to GitHub again and we reload this page, we can see added some important comment now. So this is exactly what we basically want to see. We have just committed another change to GitHub, and it's now all on GitHub. And that's actually also how easy it can be to set up the GitHub repository for this. And that's pretty much all that we need for the time being. But that's it for this tutorial right here. I hope you found this useful and you learned something new, and I'll see you all in the next tutorial. So yeah.